So everyone at some point in their life, if not on a daily basis, experience anxiety or fear. And if we think about what fear is an anxiety, right? So we're fearful that something's not going to go how we would like it to go. We're fearful of the decisions that we make. You know, if I make a decision, maybe things will go a certain way, and we're not sure. So we have that sort of fear or that anxiety about the decisions that we make. And ultimately, in the very core of our being, there is a fear. And, you know, sometimes we don't acknowledge it, and sometimes we do. But once upon a time, eons of time ago, we all made a really dumb decision. And that was deciding to try and live independently from our supreme eternal friend. And so immediately we have even a little tinge of that kind of feeling of, what about me? We're immediately sent to the material world, where we can try and be independent and joyous. And so for us to actually become truly peaceful and truly happy, we need to know who we are. And Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 15, I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, spiritual knowledge, and I am also the knower of the Vedas. So Krishna is saying he's seated within everyone's heart. So we are situated within the heart, but the Supreme Lord expands himself as the Paramatma, or the Lord in the heart, and he travels with us and goes with us whatever bodies we have on, whatever species of life, the Supreme Lord travels with us throughout the material universes, throughout material worlds. I mean, we have this really kind of like Earth-centered view, or we have probably pretty much an Adelaide-centered view. Our world view is kind of like our life and what's going on right now, you know. And if we think a little bigger, then, you know, it goes out to, you know, Australia, and it might go out to the world. But, you know, we don't think bigger than that, because it's kind of beyond our ability, it's beyond our imagination. And so we have this, you know, like we get caught up in our daily life and whatever's going on. But Krishna is within our heart, and he knows our heart, he knows our desires, he knows what we want. And if we want, in the core of our heart, if we actually are questioning, who am I? Why am I here? What decisions should I make that are going to be in my best interest and for the welfare of others? You know, what decisions should I make, not only short term, but long term, you know, in the big scheme of things, the big picture? And if Krishna, he knows us more than we know ourselves, right? He sees right through us. And so he gives us knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. And we might say, well, why would he give us forgetfulness? So forgetfulness is forgetting our true identity, our spiritual nature, and that we're all connected. You know, each one of us are connected in an eternal bond of friendship and love, not just with the Supreme Soul, but with each other. And when we're forgetful of who we are, our spiritual identity, then we just see other people as, you know, someone I like or someone I don't like, someone that I can get something from, or somebody that I can give something to, you know, but we're just looking fairly superficially about the situation. And so the forgetfulness is forgetting our true identity. And when we forget our true identity, there's going to be all sorts of fear and all sorts of anxiety about innumerable things. You know, you may be like I think I've brought this up before, but I'm vegetarian, and sometimes I would cook, you know, beans or chickpeas or something that can take quite a while to cook. So I'll put them on, and then I would go to the local swimming pool and do laps. I'd turn them down low, and if I did it early enough, then I would remember to turn them off. And sometimes I'd be doing laps, and I'd think, did I turn them off? Do I keep swimming? Do I go home? Am I going to go home to a smoking mess of a house? You know? It didn't just happen once, unfortunately. I never went home to a smouldering house. But, you know, we've probably all experienced things like you've gone somewhere and maybe you left your handbag in the boot of your car or something, and you're out walking and it's like, did I lock my car? You know, we do things on automatic, right? And it's like, do I go back or do I keep walking? Do you know what I mean? There's just like so many little things that happen in our daily life, and there's just this, you know, fear, this anxiety. Because we're not in our natural position, we're in a foreign place, we're in a temporary material world. And so for us to experience that reconnection and that, you know, understanding on a moment-to-moment kind of basis, you know, in our daily life, a daily basis, for us to remember our spiritual identity and why we're here and what the real goal of life is, then that kind of understanding, that will come from Krishna in our heart, and that will give us a sense of peace. So even though things in this world may turn to custard, then we will still experience a complete feeling of peace and of harmony and of knowledge, so that we're not kind of tossed around by the different waves, tossed around by our fears, tossed around by our anxieties. And so we need to have a process that's going to clear our heart and mind. And that's what Krishna has given us, this really easy process of chanting, so that our mind and our heart can become purified, so that that knowledge that's already there, it's already there, Krishna has arranged it, it's already there. That knowledge is already there in the core of our heart, it just needs to be uncovered. That love, that unconditional love in the core of our heart, it's already there. It just needs to be uncovered, right? We can't create it, we can't try and manifest it. It's there, naturally there. And all we need to do when we practice mantra meditation, meditating on the sacred names of the Supreme Person, is just basically open our heart and let Krishna in. Welcome him into our heart. You know, just like if somebody knocks on your door, you know, you welcome them in, hopefully. You welcome them in, right? You don't just leave them at the door and, oh, yeah, hi, you know, walk off, right? You welcome them in. So we want to welcome Krishna into our heart. And when we welcome Krishna into our heart, and it's like, please be there in my heart. Please give me that knowledge of who you are and who I am and my relationship with you, my eternal relationship with you. Please help me to always see all other living entities as my brothers and sisters. Please help me to be kind and tolerant and forgiving and loving towards others. And so Krishna will give us that purification. We will gain more insights, we will gain more inspiration, we will gain more love and peace and happiness. And so then we can live on the basis of our true identity. So it comes from Krishna. Krishna's there From him comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. So we surrender, dear Krishna, please take charge of my life. Krishna is not a foreign God. Krishna is the name of the Supreme Person. There's not many different gods. There's one Supreme Being, one Supreme Soul. And we call him by the name Krishna because it means he has all attractive qualities. All attractive. And so, dear Krishna, please help me to know who I am, my relationship with you, and my relationship with others. Thank you.